All right. What's up, Media Comm students or Media Arts students? Intro to Media Arts. That's right. So this is movie video number 1. So let's start off here with part 1. Part 1, so we're moving from just using still images in Premiere to using moving video in Premiere. So you guys are all pretty familiar with Premiere, so this shouldn't be too difficult for you. First thing we need to do is download our files. So if you open up the assignment here on Schoology, you'll scroll down, you'll notice there's some videos from Adobe that kind of teach you how to use Premiere. And then there's a link that says Hoverboard Assets. So that's our video. So if we click on that, it's going to open up in a new folder here. And what we need to get is we need to grab the video footage, the graphics, and the audio. So these are in 3 folders. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this first one here, the 3 dots next to it, because I want to just go ahead and download the whole folder to save time. So right click it, I'm going to click download. Now it's going to zip, so it's going to take a little bit of time for it to get downloaded here on your computer, and then once it zips, it'll download. Now some of you guys are going to get an error message where it says it like blocked because you're trying to download multiple files. You can go up here on the top and click on the little icon that says you're getting blocked and say allow downloads from this website or multiple file downloads from this website. So we'll do it for video footage, and we'll do the same thing for graphics, and the same thing for audio. Just for sake of time on this video, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this because I already have it downloaded. So I already have it here in my downloads folder when I go into downloads. All right, video footage, graphics, and audio. Now you notice on this that they are inside these folders with zippers. Well, I can't open up compressed files in Premiere, so I need to uncompress them or unzip them. So I'm going to right click on it and say extract all. All right, and it pops up with this little window here. I go ahead and hit extract. Because I've already done it, it's asking me, do I want to replace the files? Just go ahead and replace them. All right, and that takes just a moment, especially this video file's kind of big. All right, so now we have this inside downloads. Now we got 2 folders, right? We got one with a zipper that we're not going to be able to open in Premiere, but we got this one now extracted, no zipper. That one we should be able to open up, right? So we do the same thing for graphics. And then we do the same thing for audio, right? And I'm kind of being lazy. I'm just doing this in my downloads folder, but that's all right. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and open up Premiere. So kind of get it back to the beginning here, right? So you start off here. First thing we do, we click New Project. You should know this by now. You need to name your project. All right. Then give it a location. Right, so I went into my classwork, I created a new folder, I called it Moving Video 1, and I call it Demo just so that because I already did this for my other classes, and go ahead and select that folder, and then I go ahead and hit Create. All right, then we need to go ahead and import our video files just like we imported our photos, right? So right click, Import, I'll go ahead and go to my downloads. And there's my video footage, right? And I'm going to go ahead and select all that and go ahead and open it up. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and import my audio as well. And my graphics. Now there's 3 logos, so I'm going to go ahead and hit those open. Now it pops up with this screen here that says, do you want to merge the layers or have individual layers? We're just going to go ahead and merge the layers. It's going to pop up 3 times because of the fact that we're importing 3 files that have multiple layers. So we'll just go ahead and do that. All right. Now we need to go ahead and create a new sequence. Now when we were working with photos, good practice, in fact always best practice, is probably just go ahead and hit New Item and New Sequence. In fact, I'm just going to do that because I really do think that's best practice. And make sure AVC HD, sequence 1 is okay, and we'll hit OK. Now, in this scenario, you could have cheated In fact, if I drag this over, what is it going to say? The clips do not match the sequence settings. Change the sequence to match the clip settings. I'll go ahead and hit OK. Change sequence. So I'm guessing if I right click on this and go to properties, here it is, properties, what will I see? So this is actually a 720 clip instead of a 1080 clip, and because I created a 1080 timeline, it said it didn't match. So you could cheat, right? So as some of you guys found before, right, if I delete this, if you drag a clip over to the timeline, it's going to create a sequence that matches that clip. When I'm working with video like that, like this, if this is the highest resolution clip that I'm going to use, or the resolution that I want to export my video at, that'll work fine. The only downside to it is, first off, I don't need that whole clip because I'm going to edit it later, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. But the downside is, right, now I have this sequence, but it's called DG Hoverboard 6. And what was my video file called? It was also called DG Hoverboard 6. So that gets kind of confusing for me. So if I am going to do it this way, I always want to go in here and rename my sequence. And I'm just going to go ahead and call it sequence 1. All right. So that way, at least I know it's a sequence, and then I'm not confused by the DG Hoverboard right files. All right. So the only difference here with the video is first off, I'm going to start with the music. Basically what we want to do is we want to create kind of a music video here with all of our clips. So drag the music over to the beginning of my timeline onto audio 1, and I got some music here. Sounds cool. And now I'm going to start wanting to bring in video, right? But if I just click and drag this video over, I get the entire video, and it's a lot of video, right? Right? So honestly, once I drag over like 2 clips, right? Here we go, 3rd clip, right? I've already taken up like more than half of the timeline, right? And I don't want that. I want to create a music video with just the best clips out of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and double click, and that opens it up in this top left. Anybody remember what we call this top left? Yeah, we call it the preview window. Why do we call it the preview window? Because this is where we preview our files, right? So I'm going to look at this file and go, oh, you know what? I want just that clip of him jumping. Forget all this other stuff. So where do I want the clip to start? Maybe I want it to start right about here, right? So what I'm going to do is going to say I want my clip to start here. So I do that by either clicking right here where it says mark in, if you guys see that. Or what I do is on the keyboard, I use the keyboard shortcut I. So that puts that little bracket right there, the mark in bracket. And then I scrub through my clip, and I figure out where I want the clip to stop. So maybe I want it to stop right around there. Now I'll probably adjust this later once I get into the timeline, but to start off, this is the clip I want, so I'm going to mark the out points. That's the other bracket, right? So this is almost like a math bracket, right? You got the beginning bracket and the end bracket, and we're going to just grab what's in between. So either click there, or you can hit the O key on your keyboard, and that marks out, right? So now I have this clip, and now I can drag it down to my timeline. Now I do want to start off with black. Since I got music here, I could cheat and just leave a space and then drag in my video file. Or we could go down here and create a color matte, which is always a good idea, and just have it be black. And then we have a bit more control kind of over that amount of blackness there. All right, let's see where I want it to start. That's probably a good spot. All right, so now I'm going to drag this down to my timeline. But if you notice, right, I have audio with this video, and what ends up happening here, right? My audio just overwrote my music. So let's see what that sounds like. Oh, my music just dropped out. Oh, and now it's back. So that's obviously not what I want. So how do we fix that? Well, first off, you notice here, right, we have video track 1, video track 2, video track 3, audio track 1, audio track 2, audio track 3. But right here, it also says video track 1 and audio track 2. So this video track 1 refers to the video track in my preview window, and audio 1 refers to the audio track in my preview window. So if I had multiple audio tracks in this movie, right, I'd see an A1 and A2, which you might see sometimes. You have stereo sound, right? Some cameras, sometimes I'll record like 2 microphones, and so I'll set them so that they're recording in stereo, but they're 2 mono sources. So that's where I might get an A1 or A2. In this case, we just have one audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this A1 and drag it down to A2. And now when I click and drag my clip down there, what do we see? The audio drops down to A2 because the A1 is next to the A2. And there it goes. All right, so for part 1, your goal is just to put together, choose the best part of each video and put together a little music video to the music.
Okay, and now I'm ready to shine, and I'm only getting bigger.
Right, and try to match it to the music the best you can, using the best clips. So then I go to this next one and decide, what do I want? Somewhere in there, maybe. To there, right? Drop that in there.
To shine, and I'm only getting bigger and better, and up the line, got a bright light in the top right in my mind. Everybody watch out, 'cause it's...
Now let's say I wanted to adjust that clip. I didn't like where it started. I could go back here and shorten it up this way, right? And click and drag. Now that leaves a gap there between the two clips. And I can just clean that gap up by right-clicking and saying ripple delete. And then that merges them together. Also, if you notice, let's say I just want to trim off just a little bit. Well, it won't let me trim off just a little bit, right? It kind of jumps. Like, whatever that is. 5 frames in is the minimum I can adjust there. It doesn't matter if I zoom in or what. Like, it just... Well, if I zoom in, it helps a little bit, right? That's because we have this thing that's called snap turned on. So if I turn off snap right here, that'll give me the freedom to make smaller adjustments without it wanting to jump to where the other clip starts. So that's kind of useful to know. So go ahead and for part 1, just go ahead and put together a bunch of clips, and then we'll see you back here for part 2. All right, so now that we've started to edit the video together, I want to go over some other stuff that we can do to it. So obviously you know how to edit to the music, you know how to put in parts of a clip. Oh, I forgot to mention on the clips, how do we know we've used a part of the clip? Well, if we notice right down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the clip, it's blue. That means it's been used, at least in part. And if it's gray, it hasn't been used yet. So that's good to know. Let's see what else we need to have. Oh, 2 extracted stills from the moving video. So we can extract a still from the video really easy. So if I go through a video here and pick a spot, maybe not that video, let's see, maybe I want to get some video here just before no, this is not the one where he crashes. Oh, I don't know. What's a good clip? Here we go. Oh, this is the one where he crashes, right? He comes up, he does a backflip. Oh, that is the still. Well, anyhow, let's say I want to get a still somewhere in here of an image. So what I can do is either on either my preview window or my program window, I can get a still by clicking on this little image right here. It says export frame. So I click on that, and then the important thing is that you want to click here that says import into project. And I'll probably just do a JPEG, save some space. So import into project, hit OK. That puts that in here as a JPEG. And then what I can do is I can, of course, just bring that in just like an image like we've been working with in our other projects. And again, I can animate it just like anything else. Oops, that is not it. Okay, so I kind of messed up there, and we got interrupted there, so I don't know if this is a little disjointed, but oh well. So I accidentally brought down the clip because I was still on my preview window. So if I'm here in the preview window, right, if I drag this down, it's going to drag down the clip. But what I did when I imported that is if I scroll down here to the bottom, it brought it in as a picture. So if I double click there it is as a still image, right? And then I can bring that over into my project, and I can do anything to it just like any other still picture, right? Like we've done before. I can animate scale and position, and I can have it zoom in, and I can have it move around, right? All the stuff that we did on the last several assignments. So what's some creative ways you might use that, right? I'll show you here back in my video one of the ways I used it, right? I got this guy, comes up, does a backflip, And in the song it says I'm never going to stop. So I go ahead and what I do is I went ahead and right there caught an image of him freezing. And then went to the next video. So anyway, way to kind of extend a video there is one way you could use it. Again, so you can do it to something in your preview window, right? So anything in your preview window you can take a picture of. You can also take a picture of anything in your program window. So if I want to take a picture of this, again, same thing, export frame, import into project. You got to make sure you click import into project or it's not going to show up down here in your project. Right? Hit OK, and there it is in the project. All right. So that's cool. Take a picture. It says black at the beginning and the end. Oh, we want to use the logo someplace. So we imported those logos here. So these are cool. Just they are PSDs, so they're Photoshop files. So it's kind of cool that you can take a Photoshop file, you can bring it into Premiere, and you can use it, the logo. So maybe I want to have it here at the beginning. And it is, right, it brings over the transparency and everything. So the logo stays there real big. So I can go in here, I'm actually going to double click and shrink this logo down and maybe move it out of the way over in this other corner, right? So, you know, it's cool. You can use the logo. You notice I put it on video track 2, right? Because this is layers, just like in Photoshop. What happens if I have a video on video 3 and I put it on video 2? Am I going to see it? No. Why? Because the video file's on top of my logo. So this is what's on top. It covers up the logo. Where if I have the logo on top, right, it shows up on top of my video. So just something to keep in mind. Right, and again, I can stretch this out, I can shrink it, whatever I want to do with it. So we want the logo in there someplace, just for fun. Right, and again, I can put transitions on that just like anything else. Just like all these videos, I can put transitions on. So if I go into my effects, I can go ahead and pull up my video transitions, and everything that we did to our pictures we can now do to video in between two videos, right? So have that video start there, and then I could go ahead and do a wipe, right? And where's my regular wipe? Wedge? I don't want a wedge. Random. I don't know. Is it a band wipe that I want? No, that's not what I want. Oh, there it is. Wipe. If I could read, right? So right there, right? Just kind of wipes. Maybe I want it to wipe the other direction, right? So remember, I go into Effect Controls, change the direction. And there we go. We got a cool wipe, right? Or I could go from the bottom corner. All right, so that's cool. Wipes, transitions, the logo. Let's see what else we need to add to this. All right, slow-mo, fast-mo. All right, so I want you to go in and I want you to change the speed of a clip. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull in a new clip here. Him doing something cool, I don't know. What do we have? Yeah, maybe this, right? So let me go ahead and grab this clip and we'll start it right here, right? In and out. Right, so I can drag that down in my timeline. And what I can do is I can decide, you know,
Everybody say
that was a really cool trick. Maybe I want it to be in slow-mo, right? So what I do is I right-click on it and I go to speed and duration. And when I go to speed and duration, if I go ahead and slow down the speed, go 50% speed, that's going to make my clip longer and it's going to play slower, right? Now, if I'm going to match it to the music, another thing I can do is, let's go back to speed and duration. I'm going to go back and set it back at 100%. Is I can decide I just want part of this clip to speed up, and then I want it to slow down, and then go back to regular speed. So let's see here. So maybe I want it to kind of be regular speed, and then right here I want it to go to slow-mo. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this clip into 2 different clips. That way the first clip plays regular speed, and then I'm going to go here to the next clip. And again, yeah, if you click on the FX, notice I don't get all my options here, so I got to make sure I'm clicking on the clip where it doesn't say FX. And then I get all my options here. So speed and duration. And now I'm going to cut it down to 50% speed. Right, and then you know what? I'm going to go back to regular speed right there. So I'm just going to have this part of the little part of the clip in slow-mo. Right, and then maybe I have to zoom in a little bit more so I can click where it doesn't have that. And let's go speed and duration, and back to 100% speed. There we go, right? So right, and he crashes, and then it says dance. So I'm gonna look through my clips here. It's always good to like look through your clips, find a good clip. I feel like one of these clips, oh, right here, she's dancing, right? So this clip here, she's doing a little dance, so that sounds like a good one to throw in there. Ooh, I want to get to the dance part. So where does she start dancing? Right there. So we'll throw that in there. See how it looks. All right, so some other cool things you can do with speed and duration. I think I already did it here. Oh no, I haven't done it yet. I just kind of lined up him jumping out of the water, and then he dives under the water and then comes back out. But let's just go ahead and get another clip. Let's see here, another fun one. Yeah, this one. This one will do, right? So, actually, I probably should trim it to what I actually want, right? So up here, yeah, he jumps out of the water and he goes into the water. All right, so I'll mark the out point right there. End point is already good. I'm going to bring it in. All right, another thing you can do is just not slow down a clip. You can also reverse the clip. So if I go there, right, that's cool. He dives into the water, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this clip, Control C, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste it. And what I'm going to do with the second clip, though, is I'm going to go up here to speed and duration, and I'm going to go reverse speed. Now let's see him do it. So now he goes up, reverses, right? And then that's pretty good. So maybe I'll cut there. And then, actually that doesn't work, does it? I guess I gotta let it play all the way back to the beginning, and then what I'll do is I'll paste in another clip and then play that in first and forward. Maybe I'll just go faster speed. So maybe we'll go 200%. All right, and let's just kind of see what kind of effect that does. All right, so I might adjust that a little bit. Come in here with my, this is a kind of a cool tool, rolling edit tool. And I can't roll it backwards, can I? I don't know, I may just want to cut off the end of that clip a little bit. So anyhow, kind of fun. Mess around with speed. Go slow-mo, fast-mo, reverse-mo. I want to see that in there somewhere. Then video effects. So let's go check out some video effects. So if I go into my effects, right, I not only have transitions, but we have video effects. Now we've applied these to our photos before, right? We did a blur. What else did we do? So we did a blur. Oh, we did black and white, right? So some of you guys turned some of your... So we could go in here, pick one of our clips, and maybe we want to turn it black and white. So let's go look that up, because I can always forget what it is under. I'm not finding it. Let's see. Video effects. It's not under color correction. It is under... Is it under stylize? No. There it is. It's under image control. So let me do that. So video effects, image control, right? Black and white. So I can throw that on a clip. That turns the clip black and white. So that's one thing we could do. Kind of fun. But I don't know, not very music video-ish. So we can do another one. So if we go into stylize, there's some cool stuff we can do in here. So one is find edges. Let's do that. That's kind of a cool effect, right? And then we go to effect controls here, and we can adjust the blend. And of course, we could always animate this. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go 100% blend with original, animate it, put it there at the beginning, and then at this point I want it 0%. And when we watch the clip, what does it do? So that's kind of cool, right? It goes from being a normal video into having that cool stylized edge kind of music video look to it. So try that out. You can also try out, let's say, apply a color effect to a clip. So just to kind of, this is just good practice for you guys to see this. So if we go into our layouts and workspaces, we can go into color. And this brings up our color work, our color layout, right? So if we wanted to, we could have kind of changed the look of this. So I chose a clip here, clip I'm looking at, and it has these pre-built-in looks. So if I wanted to go kind of an old black and white style, there's noir, matrix blue, right? Gives it a really blue look. Kind of gives it a gold. So these are ways to like color correct the image or to make it, give it a certain kind of look or feel. Most of these are based on certain kinds of film, give it more of a film look. But so you can go in there and play with that, a little Lumetri color. Again, to get to that, again, you go to Window, change your workspace to color. I'm going to go back to editing now, and let's talk about the last thing I want to do. There's a multi-band compressor, which you can adjust the audio gain. That's just if you want to make something have more or less audio. But here we go. Add audio effect to support like underwater. So the phaser effect. So I would show you in the video here, they kind of go over how to do that. But just to save you some time, let's go do it. So right here, he's underwater. So I want to go ahead and when he goes underwater here, I want the music to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my cut. So if I click right here, it says go to previous edit point. That puts me right on that cut. I'm going to go with my knife and I'm going to cut the music right there. And I'm going to go to my next edit point, right? And cut right there. So again, I hit that, took me to the next edit point. That's a nice little shortcut. All right, so now I have this part of the audio separated from the rest of my audio. So I can go ahead and put an effect on there. And if I go in here, there's audio effects, just like there were video effects. And the one we are looking for, I believe, is multi-band compressor. Yeah, multi-band compressor. So under the first one here, amplitude and compression, there's a multi-band compressor. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that effect over here. And it puts the effect on there, but if I play it, you're not going to notice any difference. Everybody put your hands up. Right, it just sounds the same. But if I go up here to edit, custom setup, edit, it brings up the multi-band compressor options here for me. And I have a bunch of different preset options here. So we're going to find one. Let's try toy. Let's see what toy sounds like. Everybody put your hands up. Right? That definitely changed the sound of the music. Or walkie-talkie also gives it an interesting sound.
Everybody say super trend. Everybody.
So I kind of like the walkie-talkie effect. So we'll go ahead and apply that there while he's underwater, and let's see what that sounds like.
Everybody say super man. Everybody put your hands up. Everybody say super trend. Everybody put your hands up. Everybody say.
Now the only thing with that is I kind of wanted to change right when he goes into the water, so I'm actually going to go back, and right there is where he goes into the water. So I'm actually going to take my rolling edit tool here. So if I click and hold on this one, there's the ripple edit and then rolling edit. So rolling edit is kind of nice. It lets me extend the length of this clip while at the same time shortening the length of the other clip. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that back to that spot. So it changes audio right when he dives into the water.
Everybody put your hands up. Everybody say super trend. Everybody put your hands up.
And then right there, he just went out of the water. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this back so it goes back to full volume right there. Let's see if that matches up a little bit better.
Everybody put your hands up. Everybody say super trend. Everybody put your hands up. Everybody say.
All right, so that's the idea. So I want to see all those effects I just showed you in your video. So we're looking for slow-mo, fast-mo, reverse-mo. I want you to throw that stylized fine edge on there someplace, transitions throughout, a logo, and then again, that audio. That's kind of a new thing, right? So go in the audio, throw that multi-band compressor on there, and add the underwater effect. Oh, she used the phaser effect. You can do that too. Let's see. Is the phaser effect on here? Oh, I don't see phaser. I like walkie-talkie or toy. One of those, right? Really, it sounds like it's underwater. Sounds kind of cool. All right. And the last thing on here, I think it says to add a title. You should be able to do that, right? With the name, title with the name of the audio effect you used and the location you applied it. So that just helps me out so I can see where it was that you used that effect. So right here is where I used that effect. So I'm going to go in here, title, and I'm going to say walkie-talkie effect. All right, just so that Mr. Reef knows where it's at and you get the full points. All right. All right. Well, it sounds good. Let me know if you have any questions, or we'll see you next class.